Morning again, everyone. So I'm going to start with a joke, but it's really bad. And you're thinking, oh, what's different than normal? But it has a good point to it, so here it is. So this policeman sees this drunk guy searching for something near the street light. And he says to him, so have you lost something? He said, yeah, I lost my keys. And so he gets down, the officer gets down to help him on his knees. And after a few minutes, he says, so are you sure, where exactly did you lose your keys? He said, oh, I lost them over at the park. So what are you looking for them here for? He said, well, the light is much better out here. Okay. See, I told you. The great Indian philosopher Krishnamurti said this: in oneself lies the whole world. And if you know how to look and learn, the door is there. And the key is in your hand. Nobody on earth can give you the key or the door except yourself. See, we can be like that drunk man, and we are in a way in the sense that we're all searching for something. We're all looking for something. We're searching for something maybe that we lost, like maybe we lost our joy or our passion or our sense of direction. Maybe we felt like we've lost ourselves and we're searching. Maybe we're looking for a way to feel greater peace or happiness or success, looking for a way to make better decisions, have healthier relationships, maybe to prosper in greater ways or have a better life and feel a sense of meaning. But no matter what we're searching for, the truth is that no one can give it to us but ourselves. So whatever we are seeking, it is there. The door is there and the key is there. The universe provides us with so much and is waiting for us to open the door, to open our minds, and to turn the keys to allow ourselves to experience the fullness of the gift of the life that we've been given. In the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 29, the Apostle Paul says, when I come unto you, I will come in the fullness of the blessing. So I want you to think about your life right now, and do you feel like you are experiencing the fullness of the blessing of the gift of life that you've been given? Or are there some areas where you're not feeling as full as you would like to feel? And today we're going to look at the song, 93 Million Miles, because I think it's such a nurturing, adorable, uplifting, feel-good song. I think it really helps us realize the miracle and awe of this incredible life and how blessed we are. And it helps us realize that we are the one that determines how full these lives that we get to live really are. This song came out in 2012 by Jason Mraz, written by Jason Mraz and Michael Nader and Mike Daly. Jason met Michael Nader at some of the coffee shops and little writers' workshops. Michael Nader was well into his 60s, and Jason Mraz was 35. Michael Nader's guitar was older than Jason. All the songs he wrote was older than Jason. There was a almost 30-year difference, but they made this connection and became friends. And so here is what, in an interview, Jason said. He said, I invited Michael to my house to help me change out a toilet because I figured he would know how. He brought his guitar, and after we changed out the toilet, he played his guitar. And I wondered, why did he mention his toilet? And he mentioned it twice. And then I figured it out. It's because he wanted to show the connection and friendship that they shared. See, I believe there are levels of friendship that we have. People we just do some stuff with, and then another layer is people we invite to our house to socialize. There's the give your friend a ride to the airport level of friendship. There's the call you in the middle of the night friendship. And I believe high on the list of friendship is help you change out your toilet friend. That is a deep friendship between a man and a man. Just thought I'd give you my philosophy on friendship and toilets. So the song is actually based on something Michael Nader said when they were hanging out and playing together in the sun. And here's what he said. He said, we look at the sun, this fiery nuclear furnace, 93 billion miles away. And by the time the heat and the light get to us, it's just right. So he was captivated and in awe by the miracle of the sun. When I heard this, I got so excited. The fact that heat and light travel so far to bless us to support us, to allow us to live, to feel the warmth. The sea is, to me, an amazing thing. The sun is the center of the solar system. It is the most important source of energy that gives life on Earth. It is 330,000 times larger than the Earth. It represents 99.86% of the mass of the entire solar system. The temperature of the sun is 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, can you think about how amazing it is that it travels so far, the light and the heat, and gets to us, and it's just right. Except from May to September in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for real. And hearing that, do you not just get excited and amazed at how blessed and supported we are by God and the universe? I mean, and think about just the sun alone, which is the main source of life, but also air and rain and gravity and the stars and the oceans. All of this stuff is there for us constantly so that we can live in the fullness of the blessing. Here's what Jason says. He says, 93 million miles from the sun is where we live. 240,000 miles from the moon. That's our geographical location within the solar system. Yet, no matter where you are, there you are. No matter where you are on this planet, you can call that home. I wanted to create a song that acknowledged that home is where the heart is, and it's up to you to decide. So the reason we're using this song is I love this song, and it's fabulous, but also because on my vacation, I did not feel very connected. I felt quite out of sorts and out of sync. I was kind of sad and just feeling a little bit lost and not as happy or peaceful or joyful as I wanted to be. And this song, I didn't even hear it. It popped into my head and kept going over and over again, much needed to help me shift my mindset so that I could enjoy the things that were before me and get recentered. And so here are the 4 lessons that I learned that were so helpful to me this summer over the past month. This song is written in the context of parental advice to a child on how to live life. And the line that gets hit over and over in the song is, you can always come back home. You can always come home. It says, just know wherever you go, you can always come home. Just know you're never alone. You can always come back home. In the song, the parent of the song is encouraging the child to go live life fully, but also remember, you can always come home. And it's really, to me, I want to connect with the feeling of being at home, the feeling of being welcomed, of being loved, cherished, and accepted, and appreciated, and nurtured. It is that amazing feeling of being home that's really our foundation. The foundation emotionally, physically, and spiritually, that everything is okay and we're going to be all right, that we are loved and supported. And to me, it's not just the idea of home, of coming back to your parents or even coming back to your own house, but we are home in this solar system. We are home in this universe, on this planet, that we are home, that we absolutely belong here, that we are a vital and crucial and important part of life, that wherever you go, you are home, that you are valued, that your life has meaning and purpose. And so that whole idea is that we can always come back home, because there are times we feel lost. We feel disconnected. We don't feel as valued and cherished, and that we could always come back to that feeling of oneness. Oneness with life, oneness with all people, oneness with the sun, oneness with the intelligence and the source that made us and makes everything possible. But whenever we feel lost, we can just say, I am home. Because wherever we are, that is the truth. I am home. Half voice, say it to yourself with me. I am home. Just take a deep breath into that. Expand and know your value, that you belong. You're an important part of life. Again, half voice. I am home. Deep breath. Let it sink in more. And one more time. I am home. You know, that practice of hearing something and pausing to let it sink in a bit deeper actually comes from the Bible in a particular word. And the word is Selah, S-E-L-A-H. It's written 75 times in the Bible, most often in the Psalms. And let me give you an example of where and how it gets used. So it says in Psalm 4, verse 4, it says, "Stand in awe and not sin. Commune with your own heart and be still. Selah." Psalm 3, verse 8 says, "Salvation belongeth to the Lord. Thy blessing is upon thy people. Selah." And Selah means to pause and to calmly reflect upon it. To just say, "I am home," it needs Selah. It needs time for you to let it deepen into your heart and into your mind. Because the deeper it is, we begin to not just hear it in our head, but we need to feel it in our heart, to embody, to radiate, to be and express the truth that I am home, that I belong, that I am connected. My life has meaning and purpose and value wherever I go and whatever I do. I am home. One more time. I am home. You know, when I was flying back to Canada, I thought to myself, I'm flying home. When I was in Phoenix and flying back to Phoenix, I thought, I'm flying back home. When I was sitting on the airplane, and I love being on airplanes, I thought, it's been 2 years since I've been on a plane. I'm thinking, I am home. The idea of I am home includes feeling comfortable in your own skin, knowing that you are a child of God, connecting with your true nature and spirit and feeling that oneness. That is what it means to be home. I am home. And yes, we will lose that connection from time to time, get distracted by life and the challenges, and we can always come back home. It is a powerful and peaceful and beautiful and spiritual way to live from this place of knowing that I am home. Selah. One more time. I am home. Second thing from this song that it teaches is to love your life and love where you are. Here's what it says. "Oh, my beautiful mother, she told me, son, in life you're going to go far. If you do it right, you'll love where you are." So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you loving your life? How much are you loving yourself? How much are you loving being you? How much are you loving your friends and your family? How much are you loving your home? How much are you loving your car? How much are you loving Phoenix? How much are you loving where you are right now in your life? And notice it says, if you do it right, you'll love where you are. Well, sometimes we don't always do it right. One of the things we don't do as well is sometimes we spend more time worrying about our lives than actually living it and loving it. We spend more time sometimes complaining, hating, judging, resenting, and resisting. And we got like a whole list of complaints when we get excited. We can get into all kinds of things. Complain about our bodies and our bosses. Complain about our cars and our stars, our scars, our blouses and our houses. Our relatives and our finances. I mean, we got a whole list of things. And that doesn't help us love our lives. You know how important and powerful it is to love your life? Could you imagine loving all aspects of your life? Another thing we do that isn't always helpful, like you ever wish your life was different? Ever wish you had someone else's life? Or you wish some issue or problem or struggle in your life was just gone and disappeared? You ever wish you could just trade someone in your life for someone else? Another thing we do is sometimes we get into this thing where I have to. You ever say, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that? This have to mentality makes life feel like a burden. I have to go to work. I have to go see my family. I have to go to the gym. I have to eat a healthier diet. You know, I have to lose 20 pounds. I have to fix that faucet. I have to. So I ask you, what would it take for you to love your life and to love where you are? Here are 3 things. Number 1 is to move from have to get to. You know, you get to go to work. We get to go to the gym. We get to eat healthier. We get to have a conversation with a loved one. The second one is to give thanks for everything that's in your life. God made you. The only life you can live is the life you have. So give thanks. Give thanks for our smile and our bodies and our talents. Give thanks for all of the things in our lives. And the third one is enjoy your life. What's holding us back from just enjoying all the good stuff that's in our lives? The third thing is to walk through the darkness. Here's what it says. Oh, my irrefutable Father, he told me, son, sometimes in life it may seem dark, but the absence of the light is a necessary part. I think we've all had times in our lives where it felt like it was so dark we couldn't see a positive outcome. We couldn't see how things could possibly work out. Sometimes we can't see, where things will end up. And sometimes in that dark place, we feel, hopeless. We feel lost. We feel hurt and helpless. But all of that dark stuff is a necessary and important part of life. Jesus said, in this life there will be trials and tribulations. There are going to be some dark moments. But he said, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. Be of good cheer, because these things that are in our lives, we can not only overcome them, but we can gain from them. I really believe it's the tough times, the challenging times, the struggles, the walking through those moments of darkness are the thing that really makes us stronger, makes us wiser. I think it makes us more understanding, more compassionate, and I think more appreciative of our lives. I would go as far to say that it is because of the things, the difficult things we go through, that we are who we are. And for all the things that we've achieved, we would not have done it without the difficult stuff in our lives. The dark is a necessary and important part of our lives, so it's important not to run away from it or hide or pretend. It's important to stand firm, to face it, to feel with it, deal with it, and get better from it. Every time we avoid and run away from some difficult problem or pretend it's there, we are cheating ourselves of the blessing and the goodness that it meant to bring in our lives. That's why the apostle said, count it all joy, brethren, when you face trials of any kind, because it will test your faith. And let perseverance have its full work in you, so that you are whole, complete, and lacking in nothing. Whatever we are facing in our lives right now, or a difficult time, is to help us feel more whole, complete, and lacking in nothing, and bringing out the very best in us that sometimes only adversity brings out. So it's important that we don't be dissuaded or depressed by the difficulties, but to use those things to enrich, enhance, and uplift us. One of my favorite quotes by the great Reverend Jack Graff is, don't despair. Even the sun has a sinking feeling every day. But the next day, it still rises. It still rises. And the final lesson is to hold hands and stick together. It says, every road is a slippery slope. There is always a hand you can hold on to. I really believe that the slippery slopes and the challenging times, in those times, is the most important time we need to hold on to someone's hand and to stick together and be there for one another. That's such an important thing. It's always easy to hang out when we're all lovey-dovey and everything's good, but it's how we stay together in the difficult and challenging times. Jesus said, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. It means that when we come together, particularly that we multiply and magnify the power of Spirit and our faith and our love and that connection. I believe hanging together in tough times creates a deeper bond that brings us closer and expresses a greater level of love. The interesting thing is that they say if you have a stick and you break it, it takes about 8 pounds of pressure to break it. But if you take 2 of those sticks, it takes 32 pounds of pressure to break it. That when we stick together, we are 4 times stronger and can withhold and help and support one another. I want you to think of a difficult time you went through, and who were the people that were there for you? Who were the individuals whose hands you held through those difficult times? And then I want you to think of that thing again and imagine if they weren't there. Imagine what it would have been like having to go through that journey, not having someone there for you to support and be with. I truly believe that the difficulties we face in life would be infinitely more challenging if we didn't have someone there to be with us, to help us through and to support us, and just being present in those times. That is why we're here. Jesus said the greatest commandment is to love one another, to love and to support and to encourage and believe in, and just be present to someone. What a difference it makes. And whether it's a friend or a family or a coworker or a friend or a sponsor or a support group or a therapist, we are here for one another. We're not all meant to do it by ourselves. We're actually meant to do it with the support and love of one another. And if you feel like, I want to reach out to someone, ask, because that is what makes life fulfilling. That is what makes life meaningful. I believe that life gets better when we stick together. It is absolutely the truth in good times and not so good times, and particularly in the not so good times. So I flew back to Canada to see and be together with my family. As you know, I'm one of 10 kids, and we all kind of get together in August. And my oldest brother's got pancreatic cancer, and so it was a kind of bittersweet visit, if you want to know the truth. My brother's still in chemo, so of the 16 days I was there were a few days that he was really up to having company. But it was still beautiful to see his face and his smile. It was still inspiring to see him just trying to hang in there and be available and playful for all of us. He actually cooked 4 times for us, which took a lot out of him. He cooked Chinese food and curry and soups and salad. I had no idea he was such a good cook. I thought we shared a love of food, but just the eating part of it, the guy was fantastic. And so it was really touching. And I have to admit, there was a cloud of sadness, wondering if that might be the last time we get to interact and be together. But it was still precious. Even though many of us had heavy hearts, it was still a beautiful thing to be together and to be present with each other. Another thing that was cool about going and visiting is that I haven't been there in 2 years, and in that period, 3 little babies, nieces and nephews were born. And that was so adorable. Aren't they cute as heck? And so that's Raya, Savannah, and Bodhi. And I was kissing and squeezing and loving on all of them. And that little Bodhi one, when I left, he's got an uncle named Rashad, and I'm Richard. And they always call me Uncle Rich. And he said to his mom, after he left, he says, Uncle Rich? And his mom is saying, maybe he's saying Rashad. And she said, you mean Rashad or Rich? And she said, Rish. And so anyway, it sounds ridiculous, but to have a 2-year-old say your name and remember you after you left just absolutely touched and filled me. So when I got back, goal number 1 was get a car. I hate car shopping. I hate all of that kind of thing. So I had a friend who went with me. I went to 6 different dealerships over the course of several days, spent hours there. And it was just so nice to have someone there. I had 3 other friends texting me deals on cars and comparing and giving me advice. And I have to say, it sounds silly, but it just felt so good to have people doing something I really don't like. And then the other thing that happened this week was I really needed my toilet changed out. For real. And here's the amazing thing. I had 2 friends who don't know each other volunteer to change out my toilet. And I will tell you, I felt so loved at that level of connection and friendship. It was done yesterday, for real. And so it is amazing what happens when we feel connected, when we're there for one another. Life gets better when we stick together. So whatever you're going through, who's someone's hand you need to hold, and who might need to hold your hand right now? Because sometimes not even saying a word, but just being there for one another and believing and helping one another, it does an amazing thing. That's where the depth of fulfillment of life really comes, is how we are there with one another and for one another. In all times, but particularly the difficult times, there's a deeper bond of love that gets created and affirmed just by being there for each other. The last line I want to focus on, it says, looking deeper through the telescope, you can see that your home's inside of you. When Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, it is really saying that the key to living as full a life as you want is in your hands. The door is right there, just waiting for you to open it, to unlock it, and to allow yourself to live in the fullness of the blessing that has been given to all of us. And those steps again are to know that you're home, to know I am home, because it really is the truth. And to love your life, to love your life. You get to, you don't have to, you get to. Appreciate everything in your life and let yourself enjoy it. And third is walk through the darkness. The difficult times are there to teach us, to bless us, to help us. Don't run from it, face it. You've got everything in you to deal with it, and it will bring out even greater things from you. And finally, hold on to the loved ones. Hold on to the hands and stick together, because life is better when we stick together. So the next time you feel the sun, the light of the sun on your face and warming your cheek, I want you to remember how amazingly blessed you are. God loves you so much, has provided so many things, and even as far away as 93 million miles. God bless you all.